your martial arts movie podcast.
I threw that shit before I walked in the room.
Featuring drunken Thai boxer Will.
Too bad you will die.
The also drunken wrestler Mark.
I said I don't want trouble.
And drunken karate master Zero.
You've lost your balls.
And now,
Call. I know Kung Fu.
You know, baby.
Fists of Fail.
Zero, you're the one who mentioned to me that I should watch Ninja.
But I meant Ninja 2.
I missed that part. So I was like, oh, Ninja's on. Let me watch this. Like, once you watch this and we were preparing for this review, you told me that the second one is way better, which I still haven't seen. This is the 10-year anniversary of the movie. So, hooray.
Yay.
Yay. And
2009.
this is directed by Isaac Florentine, who I feel like Zero, you would be the one to enlighten us about this.
Well, he's just pretty big in the direct-to-video, circuit. I don't think he's made a Hollywood film. He's just mainly done like, VOD and whatnot. And I was familiar with him because a lot of people said like, oh, like if you like martial arts films, you should check out the Ninja series from Isaac Florentine. And I watched Ninja 2 first, and I've never seen this one, and now we're going to talk about it.
I thought you were going to say Ninja 3, the Dominatrix.
He did not do that one, unfortunately.
Go Ninja, go Ninja.
This is the first time talking about a Ninja movie. This is a momentous occasion. We're only like 20-something
But I
episodes
don't
in.
think I don't think we get ninjutsu, the martial art form, in here too often.
No, but you get ninjutsu Naruto version in this movie.
You mean what? Smoke bombs?
You mean they're orange?
Like all of the like
the
hand techniques.
We were talking about this when we were watching it. Is there actually any reason for the hand gestures and movements? And we were saying that maybe it's some sort of ritual.
Mhm.
There's not actually any meaning behind. Well, I'm sure there's meaning, but like
historically speaking, or in the context of the movie.
Historically speaking,
It's like saying a prayer or something. It's their version, and then it's supposed to endow them with like more strength, or depending on what they do, it's supposed to like make them more swift or whatever. Like,
Right,
It's
okay.
that kind of thing.
yeah, I thought it might have been
You watched a lot of the One Piece.
Yes.
That has ninjas, right?
which piece? Cod piece?
Okay, so we start off with some really silly looking font on the screen, and then you see everyone in the dojo where Scott Adkins and everybody is training, including Ihara playing the bad guy Masutsuka.
Yeah, he's got this growling, snarly face that
Yeah.
there's no way he can't be the bad guy.
Mhm. So this is the training montage in a way, and you kind of see what you're installed for. We see people using swords. We see people using
Size.
a kunai. You see this man twirling a weapon around his head, like literally. I don't even know how to describe it. It looks really silly. I'm sure it's a real thing. People practice that.
I remember that, and I was just like, it's like one of those angry kids who doesn't know how to take out his frustrations.
So he starts beating his own
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to describe it.
That's
to be
how
honest.
it looked like, and I'm just like, wait, no, don't put this in the movie.
What is the practical application of that in a combat situation?
Quick neck.
But he's not moving his neck. So what does that do?
Your opponent would feel sorry for you because you look very pathetic, and so they just walk away.
Fucking loser.
We are introduced to Mika. Mika is the actress. Namiko, who is the love interest of this movie to Scott Adkins. She's here,
She's really good with a bow staff, apparently.
right? Well, we get.
Which she never uses.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I like how they introduced that as like, oh yeah, she's besting Scott Adkins in certain disciplines.
In the beginning, right?
Yeah. But she is the one who is just a complete punching bag throughout the entire
Yeah.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but at least she wasn't just like without fighting back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, she is like,
But she also fights back.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I give the movie that much credit. She wasn't completely useless.
Sure. She throws one punch, so she's not useless. we get a little antagonizing by the villain, by Ihara, saying like, "Oh, you're such an orphan. How dare you be an orphan?"
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah. No, that's all his English could muster up.
yeah, because Scott Adkins is the only white guy in the entire dojo.
Mhm.
Even though later on,
Actually,
what?
the dojo. Sorry, I got to skip ahead because you said the only white guy. Yes, but also no, because they have a graduation ceremony at the
Oh, yeah.
dojo, which makes no sense to me. And then they have more white people. I'm like, wait, aren't his parents dead? Like, what's
They
going
can
on?
just be friends.
No,
They,
no,
they can.
no, no.
You know, you can have multiracial friends, Mark.
no.
He's the only white person in Japan. This is unrealistic.
It's very unrealistic that they're all speaking English.
Oh God, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. But sure, like we need to cater to Scott Adkins. Well, we all speak Japanese, right? But we have this one non-Japanese guy. So let's all speak English.
To be fair, actually, I think it feels at least that half
Have you
the
been to
movie.
Japan, by the way? They do not do that.
No, obviously. But I'm saying it feels like half of the movie is actually in Japanese and half the movie is English. It's not. I wouldn't say one outnumbers the other in.
And the other half is ADR, right? Because there's a lot of ADR.
Once they go to New York later in the film, it's predominantly English. But in the
Right,
beginning, there is actually a lot of Japanese being spoken.
And there's like Japanese sprinkled throughout, even in New York, where
Yeah.
it kind of levels off, and she's like, "Oh, that's pretty like even split."
You
It's
guys
not
are
bad.
you guys are saying New York. You're not saying New York.
You mean New York?
No, it's New York.
Oh,
You can
and
hear my
big-
air quotes. Yeah, it's
Bulgaria.
totally New York.
When they go to Bulgaria.
Well, this movie was filmed in Bulgaria, and we were talking about this. We were very curious about the budget of this movie, and we have no confirmed estimates, but I think it was estimated to be $10 million, and you seemed a little peeved by that.
This does not look like a $10 million movie.
Right? What do you think this is?
Considering when you see Ninja 2, which is only $2 million, and that movie looks really better. For lack of better
Really
words.
better.
Really better.
Yeah, there's no other way to describe
My
it.
English is going down.
Maybe we should ADR you.
You should. Oh, man. The ADR this movie is great.
Yeah, you'll literally see someone turn their head and their lips are not even close to moving.
Yeah.
But you'll hear like audible sentences just coming out somehow.
It's like a Jackie Chan movie.
Well, way worse. Yeah, so it's filmed in Bulgaria for the most part, and they did an okay job, although it is kind of noticeable at times because everything looks a little too clean. But that might explain why the budget is the way that it is, because I think that's where all the production went.
You mean like the set dressing?
Yes,
Design and all
yeah,
that stuff?
I think they did
Possible.
a decent job. I mean, you can't replicate it 100%, but it's okay.
Yeah, New York City looks pretty good. It's like as you mentioned, it's a little too clean, but it's forgivable considering that we're from New York, so we know what it looks like. Yeah.
Hey guys, you want to take go to Noble Street and
yeah.
take the JMZ6 train?
7RN.
Even though there's
no Noble
7
Street.
There's no Noble Street. No.
Yeah.
Well, but not a train station, Noble Street.
No.
Not that I know of.
Nah, I don't think so.
We're not New York.
Yeah.
New
Who cares?
Yorkers. Okay.
Anyway,
Let's go back to the first fight scene. The first real one is against Scott Adkins and Ihara. What's his name? Masatsuka? I don't want to say that the entire time.
No.
we just call him Ihara.
Ihara. Okay.
Yeah,
fine.
because that's the actor's name. Because we're calling him Scott Adkins.
Oh, that's true.
So.
I thought the character's name was Scott Adkins.
Oh, it is.
I forgot.
I actually don't know his name in this movie.
He's Casey.
No, it's Scott Adkins.
I totally forgot about that. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Is he not actually Scott Adkins? I mean, he is, but so Ihara and Scott Adkins are supposed to spar.
Using like wooden swords.
Kendo swords, I guess, right? So they're sparring, and they're sparring and everything, and I guess Ihara just goes into a fit of rage for some reason.
So their two swords meet, and Scott Atkins' sword like explodes.
Well, they meet, but like it's because Ihara swings harder than he's supposed to.
He's extremely agitated at him for some reason.
Yeah.
Probably racism.
How dare him?
Yeah.
How dare he? So yeah, he swings it really hard, and you see it splinter off, and then you can see the fight goes from relatively. It looks like a sparring match, and it just escalates to just I want to kill you, motherfucker.
Exactly. Yes.
And they're all holding him back. Scott Adkins clearly can't match up to Ihara, and then Ihara takes some fellow student's actual sword and swipes at Scott Adkins, and then Scott Adkins defends himself, cuts him underneath the eye. And then I'm literally just saying, and then.
Well, that's exactly what happens. It's a very short fight.
Yeah, there's really not much to this, which is fine because it's supposed to be a sparring match.
Right. It's more setting up the fact that he's going to become the villain and the main antagonist of the movie. And Scott Adkins is innocent. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
I guess. This part surprised me because the villain... So... he basically tries to kill Scott Adkins in front of the entire school, and the teacher gets
mad,
pissed off, and he basically
I wonder why.
Yeah,
he's completely justified in his actions.
Exactly, and so he basically reprimands them in front of everybody, saying that he's now exiled from the school. And his reaction is,
I can't believe he did that.
Exactly, it's so funny. Like, how did you not know this would happen to you? You just tried to kill another student. It's not. Was he expecting like a standing ovation? But and so I mentioned this when we were watching this. The Japanese actors are very, very invested in the roles. Like,
oh my God,
like they're 100% committed. It's a directed video movie, so you can kind of forgive the acting sometimes, but they're trying. They're really, really trying. But it comes out across as funny because this guy is super upset that he's getting exiled, like he doesn't understand why. And so it just becomes comedy.
The music doesn't help.
Yeah.
It swells up.
Exactly.
Dun, dun, dun. And he's just he's crying on the floor. He's like, this is the only home I ever knew.
Yeah.
What am I ever going to do? But it doesn't matter because fast forward. And man, I feel like we didn't talk about this last time. So there's a scene, now that we fast forward, the villain has developed his own life now. And he's basically like an assassin.
Yeah, I'd say that. He's like a contract killer.
Yeah, exactly. So he does a contract job at some museum thing
in Russia.
Russia, yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point this out because we didn't talk about this last time. And during this, it's really short. There's not much to note here. There are some things that I thought were just kind of silly, like so he comes out.
So it's like a small little fight scene here.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if I would call it a fight scene.
Yeah.
But he comes in and he's just attacking all these people
in the dark.
Well, is it the dark? Is it complete darkness? Can't tell.
That's one of the things that it's a little confusing about this movie is so he's a ninja. The setting is dark and he has night vision goggles. So we get like POV shots kind of implying that, okay, they can't see. But the way it's lit, you can clearly see everything. Right. So if we can see everything, then they can see. It's like a little disjointed.
Yeah. Well, whatever the case is, there are some things that I found relatively humorous in this, like the part where he grabs a person and pulls him underneath the curtains, and you see the camera zooming up as his leg is getting dragged up the curtain.
Oh, my favorite part is he shoots a guy, and then the guy falls into a coffin. Like like an old style sarcophagus or something.
It was so quick and not like too obvious.
It I don't know. That just made me smile. But I was like, how convenient.
Insane. Why is there an open coffin in this place?
Exactly.
My favorite is the first kill in this whole fight. This little scene. This man is standing there, just standing like rigidly, like standing upright, and then like a dart falls through the top of his scalp, through his chin, and then lands upright beneath him. So like it lands right between his legs. So and he dies, right? So he falls over, but when he plops down, his head falls conveniently next to the pin. So it doesn't make any sense. If you're gonna fall over, if you're gonna fall down, like you don't fall directly down, like his head was right next to the pin. Mm-hmm. So how did he fall? It doesn't make
gravity
a lick of sense.
Gravity.
It's called editing.
Oh, you know what? The gravity was also at a Dutch angle.
We were complaining about that before too.
Yes, I brought that up.
There were some action scenes that utilize the Dutch angle, and I'm generally not a fan of that because I think Dutch angles should not be in motion. Dutch angles, for those of you who don't know, are when the camera's tilted a little bit to give off the feeling of unease and everything's askew and such.
It's literally saying like, your vision is tilted, like something is off.
Mm-hmm. Right. Don't use that in an action scene, please.
I mean, you could do it. It's fine. At least it was consistent. So
sure. Well, so that's that. Oh, that last fight, the last kill of this is very humorous. He takes a guy, he holds him by sword point. Isn't that the thing? Not knife point, sword point.
Sword point.
Yes.
Katana point?
A katana point. Yeah, exactly. Oh, so
is that a place?
You're so Nipponese.
Oh.
Is that
it's Japanese for sword. Some of you may get that.
Everyone should get that. He holds the guy up by sword.
He's standing behind him and he has a sword to his neck.
It's like, I'll pay you anything. And then instead of slicing his neck, he pushes the guy's head into the sword and away.
Yeah.
So, but for not only is that humorous, but it's a good reveal for the villain because you see his face and you see how determined and badass he is. But it's mostly just silly.
Yeah. I don't know. I like that move. I've never seen that before. I've never seen somebody take some guy's head and instead of moving the sword to cut the neck, he moves the head to cut the neck. It's very counterintuitive.
It's like imagine you take a knife and an apple, but instead of slicing the knife through the apple, you take the apple and
then you like smash it down,
slam it down the knife.
Yeah. That's exactly what it kind of felt like. So when you see it, you're like, what? All right, yeah, all right. I guess this is where this movie's going.
It's silly, but who cares? So, hey, that's our villain. He's a contract for hire, and he comes back to the dojo. And when he's there...
During graduation ceremony? Yeah. Is that a thing? Like in a ninja school?
Yeah.
Graduation
they have to pay off their loans afterwards.
Only in Naruto.
Right?
He goes there to threaten, saying like, oh, the mystical box of Hariyama, or... I don't know.
Oh, man.
Oh, the Yoroi Bitsu.
The mystical magic box of Tokuto. I don't know.
The MacGuffin box.
I'm just putting words together. Yeah, he wants the box because he thinks that he's entitled to it. And they say no.
Huh. And then I wonder why.
And then because he threatened the school, or he's being threatening, they move the box to New York.
Yes.
Yep. And then I'm sorry. New York. Yeah. They bring the thing there, and now the villain's trying to track it down. Mm-hmm. But he does so by going to the dojo in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so we can fish out information. And we get our next action scene of him taking out people at night with our favorite fight of the entire movie, the digital zooms.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Zoom.
All right, Mark, wait. You talk us through this one.
So in Only the Strong, there's this.
You are behind.
Yeah. A couple of episodes. No, only because I said zoom. And, yeah, a little throwback.
I get it.
I want a Mazda now.
What were we talking about?
God damn it! So now we're at
Jenga.
Part. Yeah, we're at that part in the at night when Ihara attacks the dojo,
and
to fish information. I'll just talk through now.
It's a pointless scene. I mean, okay, it's a cliche. Everything's
we want to break it down because we're action analysis podcast. God damn it, man! All right, let me move on.
I thought we were just talking.
All right, Zero. You want to talk us through?
Yeah. So basically, he's there to get the box, and he kills some guy who is using size in a very, very humorous.
You are skipping the guy with the umbrella.
Oh fuck! Sorry. Actually, I like that kill. I like that kill a lot. There's a poor guy just protecting himself from the rain while he's holding an umbrella.
He looks like he just like innocently
He's just minding his own business.
Yeah.
And then you get a samurai sword through the top of the umbrella, and then also right down the middle of his face.
Yeah. You're complaining about this before, like you don't know if the darkness in the movie is supposed to be complete pitch black, pitch dark. Yeah. You don't know if it's complete, darkness. So when he, this guy's just innocently walking around and he turns his head, like, oh, I didn't see this thing that was right in front of me this entire time, because the guy didn't. It's not like the villain just jumped into frame. He was just standing there the entire time.
Right.
And he slices him. He's like, oh, I didn't expect that. It's like, you guys are ninjas. You should know what this is.
That is true. Well, he could have been the janitor or something. I mean, dojos need janitors, right?
No, the students do all the work.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
It's forced servitude.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they pay their tuition.
Yeah,
right.
In some places.
So while
he
digital.
does scream, by the way. Wait, how much of this is digital? My copy wasn't so good of this movie. Because I think that the slice down the head, the body was also digital, right?
Digital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like none of it looked convincing.
Right.
Which I don't.
It's a little hard to tell because yes, when you have a complicated wound like that, it's probably just a lot easier to do digital.
Maybe if it was like a Japanese made film, then maybe they would have used real props, because they have a tendency to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they I don't know why I'm thinking of One Shot of the Dead. When I'm thinking of this, they just using props a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I feel about Japanese movies. They kind of forego the digital unless it's like a live action anime film or some shit like that.
Right.
Well, I like the way that this guy dies, because he once he gets sliced, the second he gets hit, he screams, but his mouth doesn't move. So whatever.
Yeah, but his face is cut open. So.
But then the next guy comes in with size. And you were saying that you found one thing, humorous, you said?
Yeah, so basically this guy... yeah,
you could sneeze it up.
Yeah, you could edit that out.
That's how he died. No, it's fine. We'll leave it in.
Okay. So basically now the ninja... I don't know if he's the titular ninja or if Scott Adkins is the titular ninja. But anyway, so this
Nobody's
ninja...
a ninja in this movie.
Yeah, that is true. There are no ninjas. So basically the ninja now fights a guy who's dual wielding size, and what ends up happening is he impales the guy with the samurai sword, and for some reason the guy twists both sides
as he's dying,
and you get that sound effect, and then so he's now holding the size in downward towards his enemy, and I thought, oh, maybe he's gonna try to stab at him.
Yeah.
No, he just kind of keels over and dies.
Yeah.
And he makes the same exact scream, the same exact one.
If in that moment he actually attempted to, but he didn't even harm him, it was just a typical just a rubbing against the clothes as he's falling. That would have been dramatic. That would have been nice, kind of a touch to the death.
Exactly.
Well, everything's shot so far and so wide, you wouldn't even get that detail.
But the thing that I thought was funny about it was, why did he even do that? Why did they add that into the choreography? The fact that
he can't die like a bitch.
Yeah.
He has to do something cool.
But then he should have tried to, make one last ditch effort and fail.
No, that's good writing right there. You can't have that.
Well, maybe the other guy forgot that part of the choreography.
And then
cue the music, and then all of a sudden you have all of these other students running into the goddamn fray.
Yeah. All right, so this is where we get all the zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. And this is probably Ihara actually in the suit. You think? I can't really tell.
I would say so, because there's nothing stuntmanish about these things going on where I don't think he.
Yeah, but you got to pay the actor to do it. Whereas he's all shouting. His face is covered up. You can't really tell who it is, and you don't even know if it's actually him.
Right. Yeah. I get what you mean. I want to say it's probably him. The moves don't seem too complicated.
Right. No. Well, if it's not so complicated, why are there so many fucking zooms? And okay, so yeah, maybe it's a stylistic thing. That's one of our suspicions.
I think it's a
It's
stylistic thing.
stylistic,
Or-
but it inadvertently kind of it throws you off, so it actually looks better and it covers up the bad action.
That is a
Yeah.
that is a very interesting.
It's just
sweet
really
way of
convenient.
describing it.
It's very nice.
It
way.
covers up it's a badass way to cover up the bad.
See, for me though, like I feel that it's distracting. It's not
Yeah.
covering up anything for me. It's drawing attention
I
Yeah.
agree,
to,
yeah.
to things that I don't want to see.
Mhm.
Like because
Yeah.
when they do like a zoom in, for example, and then you have the actor like in the same pose, you can see it doesn't line up sometimes. So it's a little jarring
Mhm.
when you get that zoom in and then the actor kind of moves a little bit.
Right.
To actually continue on the Zoom thing real quick and jump ahead a little bit in the film. There's one moment where Scott Adkins is fighting, or not fighting, he's just basically assaulting like this barista. And then they do this weird zoom where half of his face is missing and it's so quick. And then they're like showing me part of his neck and his chest. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I looking at? Why is this zoom here? And then after like a solid 3 to 4, maybe 5 seconds, you realize like, oh, they're showing me that thing on his chest because he's part of the
Okay.
Brotherhood.
Right.
But like, it's not prominently there.
Mhm.
It's not marked. It's so subtle.
Yeah,
They're marked.
it probably should have been lit a little better so
Right.
it was a little more obvious.
Or even zoom in so fucking much that, slowly pan to it or something. Don't just fucking quick
Focus
zoom.
on this chest hair.
Yeah,
This one's very important. Remember this.
It's like, it just made no sense. It made it.
Well, they should, with all the ADR going on in this movie, they should have ADR'd Scott Adkins like, what's that mark on your chest?
Maybe that was the first cut.
Yeah.
Let's go back to this scene.
Yeah.
We have him taking out all the people, and then he gets into the final battle with Sensei, the man who trained them.
and exiled him from the dojo.
This is a very serious scene because we have two very super serial Japanese men playing these roles. And I gotta say, it's kind of funny because that the Japanese guy, I was about to say the Japanese guy, they're both Japanese. The sensei, he's like in his 70s, maybe 60s, 70s. He's like doing back handsprings, like the B twists in the air. He's doing backflips. Just because he's like a martial arts master doesn't mean he needs to do flips. It actually would have been better if he just did simple moves to show his prowess.
Yeah.
Because he's old.
Right.
He
right.
shouldn't be doing flips.
It's one of those things that it happens a lot. You have an older actor playing a character and you want him to kind of be badass. So maybe you shoot from far away and the stunt double's doing cool stuff.
Wait,
but in
there-
your head,
There were stunt doubles?
Yeah.
Wait, you're telling me that wasn't him doing it?
oh no, it was. I know I'm like nitpicking at it, but I thought this was kind of funny. So he swipes at a candle with his sword and all the lights turn out
In the whole room.
in the whole room. It's
like 500 square
it's like,
feet.
man, like, what kind of fire was lighting that room?
That candle is somehow connected to the candle on the back of the room,
It's
too.
connected to the electricity system. Yeah. Yeah, I'm nitpicking, sure, but it was kind of funny when you see it. You're like, oh, okay.
Well, now we're in the dark again. You don't know if it's the dark, but whatever. And then the villain takes out a blow dart and shoots at the sensei. And one of them connects with his artery. I don't fucking know. It just
His neck.
connects his neck. And he's going to die. And then the sensei is like, well, sucks to be you. I ain't helping you. And then he
And
dies.
then he dies. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
we're done
well,
with
he
that.
dies, but he basically cuts his head off.
That's how you die.
Yeah.
That's how he died.
But you didn't say.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how he died.
Wait.
It's supposed to be dramatic,
Mhm.
but I don't care.
Right. Yeah. I'll mention this again. All the Japanese actors are doing their darndest, to act,
But
to be really serious with the scenes. But it's the movie's story is just kind of hokey, so it's a little hard to take it seriously.
they stress things in weird ways, like the death. They cut off the head and make sure, like, that the guy's dead.
Mhm.
Like, oh, this guy assaulted a dude, and then he went to the toilet at the airport. We're gonna show you the toilet sign, and then he's gonna leave again. Like,
Mhm.
it's very for a stupid audience. Let's just say they're pandering.
Pandering. There you go. That was like, where are you going with this? We were watching this movie.
Yeah.
I know. We're the stupid audience.
And I hated it because it's just like, let me figure it out on my own. Thanks.
Okay. Well, you just said it. You said it just now. The villain is now going over to New York.
New York.
I forgot where this was. I'm like, it's Bulgaria. They go to Bulgaria.
Isn't that where Avengers was filmed?
Yeah, and a green screen. Yeah. Well, they all go to Bulgaria, and we have this really stupid, nonsensical subplot where Scott Adkins is trying to find his mom, but
because he's an orphan.
Yeah, but then he gets to their house, and then
She's
the neighbor's like, "Oh, she died of a stroke," and you're like, "What's the point of this?"
And before he can even react, it cuts to like the next scene.
Yeah, basically.
You're like, wait, no.
Let's elaborate, guys.
Yeah.
Well, now
So they're in New York because they were bringing the Yoroi Bitsu to the
book of Yorihama.
Yes.
I'm just gonna keep on following with you.
right. They're bringing it to university for safekeeping
Mhm.
of all the places. Sure, why not? And
Bad idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, not even for the sake of the movie. It's like, why would you even take it there? Like, rationally
Oh
speaking.
man! All right, I know Zero doesn't want to talk about the plot, but this one scene, I really fucking love it.
Go
'Cause
ahead.
We were complaining about it
Yeah,
the other day
That's fine.
when we learned that Scott Adkins is an orphan in detail. What happened through a conversation between him and the museum proprietor.
Oh, that's
And the proprietor's like,
And this is the first time they've met.
yeah, they're like, oh hey, so
He's like, hey, what's your backstory?
yeah, basically he's like, well, what's a white man doing in a Japanese dojo in Japan? And he's like, well, since you asked, my mom left me when I was 5, and my dad was a drunk, and I don't remember anything about them, and those are the only happy days in my entire existence.
And he's dead, and now she's dead, and
Yeah.
this is where I am.
And the entire time he's like, I'm sorry.
No,
so sorry.
you don't know that because you don't get a reaction from anyone because it cuts.
He reacts, actually.
He reacts, but you don't get the reaction from anybody else at the table.
I think that wasn't even scripted. I think the actor just reacted like how stupid this scene was.
Scott Adkins is coming up with his own backstory. They're like,
This is the equivalent of like getting into an elevator and be like, oh, so how's your wife? Like, we separated. You're like,
it's like, oh my god, how many more floors we have to go?
Good talk, bro.
no. Meanwhile, you're actually going to the same place.
Yeah.
Oh man. So this part doesn't make much sense, but yeah. So the villain, while he's flying over to New York, he asks his so since he did contract killing for somebody, he asks as a favor back to have let's just call them neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
You know,
No, they're just Russian thugs. They're not neo.
Oh yeah, no, they are. No,
Communism,
they are.
fascism.
What's
Come on.
the Russian equivalent of the Illuminati? I think that's what they were implying there.
That's actually a good way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know how they're Russian, because they're all wearing jumpsuits.
Yes.
Every single one.
Every
And
single one
a
of them.
lot of chains.
Jumpsuits, the hoodie, and then the black jacket on top.
They're either Italian or they're Russian, one or the other. But no, it's basically an Illuminati cult that is hiring thugs or somehow has a foothold in like the mafia or the Russian mafia or Ukrainian mafia or whatever the fuck it is. And they're just using them. And somehow he needs, which is another thing. Why does he need a ninja to do hits when he has a whole fucking mafia?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Oh, it's almost like you need a movie
yeah,
to happen.
almost.
Well, so we have the villain asking as a favor back for the contract kill that he did from the Brotherhood, the Russian Brotherhood, to go after Scott Adkins. And we get our fight in the apartment. And this is what like annoys me, because they know to go to the apartment of the museum proprietor, right? Meanwhile, none of the villains know where the sarcophagus of Yamahama is.
Yokohama.
Yeah. Yokohama.
Blue
There you go.
light,
Yeah, they don't know where that is. They're trying to find it. I'm like, he's a museum proprietor. Where could it fucking be? It's like 8 feet long. Like, where could it be?
Well,
It's an
also,
artifact. You're attacking a museum's proprietor's house.
He's
He doesn't just
80. He has
have
a
it in the
one-track
apartment.
mind. He
Well-
probably has it under his bed, like something.
well, even
Yeah.
if he doesn't have it on his person, he still has information, but they conveniently kill him when they enter his home.
within like the first couple of seconds. of that
Exactly.
scene. It's so stupid.
It's like, wait, he could have helped. Nope, he's dead.
See, this is the problem. Communication. It's key
Mhm.
when trying to commit
Yeah,
crimes.
just speak in Russian and they'll just respond.
Relationship, crimes, and government. Communication.
That's what this movie's missing. Just law and order. So
Dun.
yeah. So now we have this fight scene in the apartment, and Scott is holding his own, and
I didn't mind this fight so much. You know, it's got some practical effects here, like they're shit's blowing up, not blowing up, but things are getting shot at because the
glass work.
yeah.
Some rain work.
What?
Later.
Well, no, we're
Oh.
still in this scene. Well, let's focus on this scene.
Alright.
ADHD out the window. So we're at this part now. Oh, look, a bird. So Scott Adkins is fending himself. He's holding his own. We have these 2 other Japanese students are also in the scene who are just fucking cannon fodder.
I thought this was kind of funny because they come out of nowhere, and I thought, oh, right, there's other people here.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, who are these? Are these Japanese thugs? I was like, oh, right, they're all together.
yeah.
And then I thought, it was like, oh, once you realize that, you're like, oh, this is going to be an easy win. No.
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 Well, to be fair, the Russian mobsters did all have silencers.
To be fair, they're all fucking ninjas.
And did you know that with ninja powers, you have the ability to just pull out a sword out of nowhere?
Oh my god, that's the best one.
Mark, I don't know if you remember this, but there was one moment where the one character dies. One of the Japanese guys dies, and as he's doing it, he gets like shot at in the chest, and he dramatically spins 180 around, and he
looks at the camera.
looks at the camera, but he looks like, oh, I'm dying, so I better like have my eyes half open. Oh, this is what a dying person looks like. And then he keels over, and then the other guy who was behind him grabs a sword out of nowhere.
Yeah.
There isn't any indication there's a sword in the room, and just stabs
I have
the
a
guy in the
theory.
stomach.
I have a theory.
What?
The Japanese guy that was dying stabbed himself and walked over to the other Japanese guy so he can pull it out of his body so he can be ready
say
to
bum. He pulled it out of his bum because that's actually what actually
That
happened.
actually
It literally
makes
comes
more
out of his
sense.
head. But yeah, just to go back just a little bit, when that guy dies, so he gets shot up in the chest, and he turns towards the camera, like his face is literally right up in the camera, so it fills up the whole frame. You're like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, personal space. Get back a little bit. I want to say this now. Like, whenever you show people's faces in movies, it's because like they have some sort of billing. Like maybe he's like 3rd tier or something like that. Or one of my theories
He's
is
got a dimple chin on her nose.
one of my theories is he won a contest and he got a walk-on role.
The cereal box.
That's why we got to see his face for like 2 seconds.
He won the Wheaties competition.
What's Reeties? How do you say that in Japanese? Reeties. I'm not fucking this up.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
He's a Wheaties contest. So how do you say that in Japanese? Like, imagine being on a Japanese commercial. You need to be on. You win through a Wheaties.
Don't do the accent.
I mean,
It would be like Wahitius.
Yeah, that's actually the most accurate. And not even fucking trying.
Yeah,
this
no,
guy.
that
it's probably.
studied a little bit.
Okay.
So racism aside,
Yes.
so we have this scene going on, and the 2 Japanese guys get blown, like basically blown apart. One
You
of them
said the 2
dies.
Japanese guys got blown
Apart.
before finishing sentence.
Yeah, this is why you talk. This is why you should stop in the middle of your sentence.
What were we talking about before? Blowjobs?
One of them, we were actually. one of them dies like spectacularly because he constantly gets shot at. He's trying to save the love interest, who again in this movie is there to just get her ass kicked. There's one scene before where the Russian guy holds her down by gunpoint, and he's like, "Where is the box?" And my brain's like, "Oh no, I don't like where this is going." But then she gets like the Japanese guy helps her, and they try to run away, and then the guy shoots through the glass and hits him,
and she keeps running.
Yeah, she's like, I don't care about
that's like a little detail I thought was funny because it's like, oh yeah, he's dead.
Oh, not you! You were my favorite character.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there anything noteworthy? Because Scott Adkins is doing all the action here. Scott Adkins is doing most of like what you pay attention to.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything to say about this.
I thought it was kind of fun because you do get some little moments with the other characters before they, ceremoniously get killed off.
Yeah.
And he does this one move that I thought was a little weird because I think there might have been some wire work, or maybe just how he fell. Like it looks like he jumps off of something.
Oh,
and he does this like flying punch at the guy, but then the way he lands and like falls forward, it looks kind of awkward.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because of the wire work or because he landed and then he fell. There's something a little visually off about it.
Yeah, I guess it's like a Superman haymaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even call it like a Superman punch. It's like, it's my whole body.
It's telegraphed very obviously him like winding up with this punch.
Yeah, it does look wire like because he's just leaping so far up. But we haven't complained about this yet because we need to complain about it. Because that's my specialty.
What's that?
There's a lot of speed ramping in this movie.
Yeah,
which we didn't talk about in the last scene, which it's perfect.
Well, that's because of the zooms. But,
yeah.
It's going to happen throughout the movie.
Yeah, well, this particularly, that's actually probably part of the reason why you think it's so floaty is because they're speeding, they're messing with the speed of the action.
Yeah,
and this is post 300, right?
I was thinking that when we got the fight scene in the rain, like because of all the zooms.
Yeah,
and then when we watched the special features, the editor said she was trying to make it look like one fluid take, but it's very
previous scene, you mean?
Yeah, from the previous fight. And I kept thinking, I was like, oh, they were probably trying to do 300 with all the zoom ins, slow motion, zoom out, because that's very
Zack Snyder.
Snyder is very evident in the one scene when the two soldiers are going through.
Like this was a popular movie. This will work in this movie.
Yeah,
Zack Snyder
is.
Oh, no, Rob Snyder.
It works.
Yeah. So they escape through the
window.
Fire escape. Yeah, well, the window.
They jump out the fucking window.
They jump out the window, and then as they're running away, a car comes at them, and
Scott
Adkins was
Adkins.
pretty bad, but
he becomes Neo.
Yeah. Well, he does a side flip over the car, and that's totally him doing it, right? That's totally not
on
visual
wires.
trickery. I don't think it's wires.
I think it's wires.
I don't think it's wires. I have this feeling that he actually did the side flip off of something, but it's all composite shots.
Yeah, it is definitely all composited.
I don't think
together.
that's wires. I really don't think that's wires. I think that's actually him doing, because he can really do flips in real life.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and like doing it off of something is not a big deal for someone like him because he's an actual martial tricker. So like that's relatively simple, but the digital compositing isn't the most convincing.
Yeah, because you know what they should have done is they should have shot him doing that in that location. I think it's green screened maybe somewhere else because the lighting is off. Like, he doesn't look a part of the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he looks too crisp.
Yeah,
like compared
There's
to just being
something
itself.
off.
That's a nice cutout floating through some kind of background. That is the alley.
It's like if you take a newspaper clipping and you're just like look, I'm in the shot too.
That's exactly what it is. They go to a hotel and he's like, money speaks, throws down a couple of hundred. He's like,
he throws out like, here's $7. What can this get me?
They get a hotel room. The guy starts knocking on the room. He's like, all right, get out. Your time's up.
It's like in their mind, they should have been like, if that's a treatment they get for $7, like how much is it gonna be for $9?
Basically, a prostitute and some dude
doesn't
walk out.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, I know, but doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, but this is relevant because now literally they walk into this room completely like unfazed that there's jizz everywhere in this room. And Like,
I think
okay.
they just started. That's why they got dressed up so quickly.
Maybe I shouldn't have watched the HD version of this.
You put a black light to your TV and you're like, oh god, no.
Yes. And like, I don't know, I guess she's cold, so they go take a hot shower with all their clothes on, both of them. Like, Scott Adkins does not have to be in the shower
No, not
at all.
It doesn't make any sense.
But he's just like
He's comforting her.
behind, like
Standing behind her, like patting her on the head.
Wait, it doesn't make any sense because they're both
while
like,
having rough sex with clothes on.
no, they're not fucking. Like, it's only implied. Yeah, so it's like, oh, I need grief.
It's
I
very
need grief. I need grief sex right now. Yeah. They're both in the shower and they're like all in the same exact clothes that they were in, and then they get out and they're both covered in towels. And like, you couldn't have taken off your clothes before you did that.
Nope.
Nope. Or just skip the shower in general.
This scene just to me looks like a really bad relationship going downhill.
No, that's how this British
Like really
started.
violent.
Well, now that we're in the apartment, they go on to the next day happens and they wake up and they are at a coffee shop.
Mhm.
And then the Russian Brotherhood appears.
Well, the barista like snitches on him.
Yeah,
pretty
from
much.
Friends,
Yeah.
20 years later, calls the dude. When I saw him, I was just like, son of a bitch, that's him.
Oh, you mean Gunther?
Yeah,
From Friends?
Gunther.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Rachel.
Man, we have a Friends fanatic here.
No, I don't know. It just clicked. I was like, yes, that's him 30 years later.
Mhm.
Working for the Brotherhood.
Yes.
It's like, why couldn't Rachel accept me? Well,
That's what rejection does to a man.
Yeah.
That's why Central Perk is still open.
right. So you mean in Bulgaria?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So now, not only are Scott Adkins and Mika on the run because they're framed for murder for their own friends.
Well, they're wanted for questioning.
Yeah, right. So now they have the Brotherhood chasing after them. So we have our fight in the coffee shop. The villains start shooting at them from outside, and they duck.
and
Protects everything.
And conveniently, the people sitting, at the tables around them get shot up first.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
how all
it.
action movies are.
I love it in this movie when random people die and get shot for no reason.
I was
You
saying
two
that
said
to
the
Will.
same exact thing.
You know what it is? Like, it's so silly, but at least it's like, okay,
realism.
there's a slight weird realism.
There's like a
innocent
Star
bystanders.
Wars-
Yeah.
There's like a stormtrooper effect here. And it's like everyone can get hit except the main characters
Right.
when it comes to gunfire.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get to this when we talk about the train scene, but it's fun. I like this.
Mhm.
This murder.
Yeah,
spree.
well, not much happens in this scene. I do like some of the choreography here when it comes to Scott Adkins, because you can tell that he's like putting his all into like his movements. Like, I feel the impact of everything, and then you see Mika.
She's just getting like beat up all the time.
Everything about her is like, let me punch you one time, and then I'm gonna get slapped.
Man, the choreographer must not have liked her. He's like, all right, you're going to defend yourself a little bit, and then you're going to get beat up the rest 90% of the
Yeah.
time.
She asked for a raise, so that's why.
Oh my god.
So they escape the coffee shop. They're running, and they run down into the JMZ6 train station at Noble Street. You know that station, right? But
Yeah.
in the JMZ, and then the NR JMZ6,
Seven.
No, but they go downstairs and there's a 7 train. You're like, what the fuck?
That's like a 7
Nobody
train
cares
from the 60s.
unless they're from New York listening to this. Pretty much.
But it's too clean. That's a big giveaway.
Mhm.
So they get down there and they all get into the subway train, and including the villains, and we have our fight in the train.
Yeah.
It's a little tight, and
Yeah. So I was I didn't want to complain about this, but I noticed like we were very limited to some of the shots in this fight scene. But I think it's because literally the setting. They're in this kind of tight train car.
yeah, the camera moves a little too frenetically at times, and which isn't even the biggest problem for me. Well, I did complain about the Dutch angle thing, but sure. My biggest problem is a lot of the hits didn't feel like it connected.
I know what you're talking about. Specifically, there's one set of moves where Scott Adkins is kind of like, using the hand railing.
Showtime. It's showtime, ladies and gentlemen.
like
Man,
Showtime.
imagine-
Showtime.
imagine being on this train.
Oh my god.
Like, because they're New Yorkers. You see, like, a bunch of people, they just start doing flips and kicks. You're like, oh, fucking, you start taking out your wallet. I'm like, can you just stop? They just don't want to get kicked.
Go away. Go away. Also, I don't know why this bothers me a lot, but on the sign outside of the station says the 6 train, but the train that actually pulls up is the 7. And
I literally just said that.
I know, but you didn't emphasize.
You suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't make
Well,
the
they're fighting, and obviously the villains have guns, but we establish how they get rid of the guns. Scott Adkins throws it.
There's some fun disarming stuff he does
Sure.
in this movie, and then he throws it.
Elaborate, please.
No, he disarms them, but then he throws it out the window, or it looks like it's the
No, he
gun.
doesn't. He throws it at the window.
At the window. Sorry, excuse me.
In this
at the
really
window.
awkward cut.
Yes, it's
It looks
weird.
very floaty. It almost looks like CG.
We couldn't tell if it's CG. I think it's real. I think it's real, and it wasn't supposed to go where he threw it.
Yeah. I'll give this one fight scene credit. There aren't any zooms.
Yeah.
through it.
The camera is very restricted,
Mhm.
so I think they were like, okay, because everything is really close.
Yeah.
So I think zooming into something that's already pretty, these tight mid shots, like
Mhm.
no, don't do that.
Oh man, the love interest in this fight scene, she's just
It
there to
pains.
get her ass kicked, but she tries.
She tries.
She
No,
tries.
I appreciate some of the choreography they gave to her,
Yeah.
but
Trying
I
to
don't
try.
appreciate her how she treats the disabled.
Elaborate,
Oh
please.
my god. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
part.
So there's a moment where everyone is like
She's a bow staff fighter, by the way.
Yeah. So basically what happened is like everyone is pretty much all over the place because the bystanders are trying to get out of the way, and Scott Adkins and Mika are kind of trying to get to each other because they're actually separated by the bad guys between them.
Yeah.
So what happens is like she ends up kind of falling over, and she notices some guy's crutches,
Right.
and she grabs the crutch, but you see the guy's face. He's like, "Hey, that's my crutch."
I need that. To
Yeah,
live.
I need that to walk.
To live.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah, to live. He has to run away from the gunfire somehow.
right. And in the most unexpectedly hilarious moment,
Mhm.
it's almost like how would you say?
Poses.
She poses
Yeah.
with the crutch.
She goes into like a deep horse stance, like
Yes.
don't fuck with me. I got crutch.
Yeah, and
You think this is like her moment to shine and to kick ass, but it's not.
a little bit.
She
a little bit.
fends her for herself a little.
For like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I will give her. I'm not trying to shit on her, but it's just the way that she's written.
No, it's just the director, yeah, or the
No,
writers.
okay, right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Mika is. I don't think the actress is trained in anything, but she. God damn it! We're watching the part where she's holding the crutch. It doesn't seem like she's trained in it, but she's holding her own. And I think like what she's given is fine. Like she's going through the railings inside the train car, which aren't easy for someone who's not trained. You have to have some athleticism.
I think she's probably a trained martial artist.
I don't know much about
a
her,
little
so-
bit, yeah.
Well, maybe not, or maybe she's just not, and it just shows because they're kicking her ass. the entire
I don't think she's losing because the actress isn't capable. I think the choreographer did not like her, so he wrote in moves to get her beaten up.
Yes.
like the part where like, she's like, I have this crutch, don't fuck with me. 2 hits, and then they take the crutch away and start wailing on her.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing because it's kind of fun the way she's using.
I'm about to say fun the way that she's beaten up.
No, it's fun the way she's using the crutch to defend. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's like a I don't know how to describe it. Never mind.
The padding on the crutch.
I was gonna say a crutch is essentially 2 pieces, and then there's like something in the middle to connect
a
them,
bar
right?
in the middle.
Yeah, so she uses that to her advantage, where somebody like puts her arm
For
through
like
it.
distance or to lock it.
Well,
or
yeah,
something.
someone
she
punches through the crutch and then she twists it
to lock,
to lock his arm. Yeah, exactly. I
there's-
remember.
Right. There's some fun stuff there, but it's extremely short lived because this fight choreographer does not like her. I'm just gonna. That's the story I have in my head now.
Stunt choreographer is Fumio Demura, so we'll just call him the stunt choreographer.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What you were also talking about the ADR for her.
Oh man, I don't know what it is because yes, this movie is shot in Bulgaria. We have a mix of Japanese and British English actors, so there's going to be ADR, of course. I don't know if this is really the actress doing it, but anytime she gets hit, we get an over exaggeration
Yes.
from her. It's like everything
Yeah.
is a little over exaggerated, and it became like a little distracting.
No, it's
for me.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Yeah, so I don't. So what I'm saying is like I don't know if they ADR'd that in, or if the actress was just doing it like going a little too much with her
No.
hits.
I think it was post. I think
Okay.
It
ADR.
probably was ADR.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Because
Like,
everything
they're-
else, like 50% of the other fucking movie is ADR.
Mhm, mhm.
It
Yeah, that's
really
true.
is.
There really is a lot of ADR in
lot.
this movie. You can't fault them for that, especially with a $10 million budget.
Yeah. So Scott Adkins is really pissed. She's getting wailed on. He's getting so pissed that he kills someone.
Oh man! Before we get to that,
Oh my
we
god.
want to talk about that really floaty kick that he does. The flip, the Showtime.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
Showtime
Okay,
flip.
sure,
He
sure.
grabs 2 bars from above, and then he flips himself around.
Backwards.
Yeah, backwards. Basically like a back tuck. And he while he's doing it, he's kicking someone who's approaching him from behind.
Mhm.
But the angle of the camera,
Is
the edit, the speed of the movement, like none of it looks realistic at
Yeah.
all.
well, I get what they're going for. Like the angle, the top down angle is kind of cool, but the problem is you can't see the impact of his kick at all when he's kicking the person
Mhm.
behind him.
It looks like a love tap.
yeah, it doesn't look like it connects at all. But then the guy falls, so it's not exactly the best choice.
Some
But-
disassociation.
Yeah.
It looks like it hurts Scott Adkins more than it hurt the other.
Yeah.
Oh, my ankle. Ah.
Right. The limitations of the subway car though, they couldn't get a side view of that,
Right.
obviously.
That's true.
But then when he flips back forward, it still doesn't look right, like the hit that the other guy's supposed
Yeah.
to get.
Where do you
Yeah.
get all that momentum?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
That's true. That's very true. Have you seen Showtime? Where do they get all that momentum? I don't know.
all
And-
that pole dancing.
And like all these people, they're just like attacking the main characters, but their only punishment is that they get incapacitated. It's like, oh, my liver, I guess I can't move now. Oh, my neck, I guess I can't move now. And then Scott Adkins grabs a guy and throws him out the window, and he gets crushed by a train. And it's like, what did that guy do?
First of all, I did not expect that window to fucking break.
Yeah.
Like the first thing. And then secondly, I'm like, where the fuck did that train come from? And I'm like, oh my god, he just murdered a guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then from that moment on, he starts just fucking killing people.
Yeah. He's a ninja. That's what they do.
Continuously. No. But he like took a fucking
Ninjas kill indiscriminately.
no, but he didn't kill anybody yet
It wasn't until that point.
Yeah.
until this
Is
point.
that true? He
Yes.
killed some of the people in the apartment, right?
No,
No, he didn't.
Oh, he was
No.
just using
People-
them as shields.
The
meat
other
shields.
the other guy got killed by getting impaled with a samurai sword, but he did not kill anyone.
Anybody? Yeah, this is where he saw red and he just became this vengeful fucking douche.
Yeah, he completely killed this one guy's ability to have children.
He chops him. He does a karate chop on his neck.
Like,
But he's probably still alive.
No, he's not. You heard the crack, the ADR, and you heard the
as long as there's
crack.
ADR, yeah. I assume he's still alive.
No,
he just was really cruel to one guy.
did you guys think this? So there's that finishing move before the fight ends where he punches the guy in the balls and then he grabs him and it keeps on cutting to close-ups of the guy's face and the guy's eyes kind of get wider.
Right.
Did you think he was going to punch him in the eyes? Like that's
I
what
didn't get that.
that's what I kept on getting because I almost felt like his eyes were getting wide because he was going to like poke him out or do something with it.
No, not necessarily. I just felt like it was a weird choice. Like it was shock, but it was overly shocking. Like it was unnecessary. And it dragged out too long on his eyeballs fucking opening. Like it
Right.
was just too much.
I don't have an opinion.
And then
one way or
but
another.
basically he just chops him on the neck and that's it.
Yeah.
And kills him.
Sure.
He's
Sure.
dead, guys.
So those are the 2 people who deserve to die, and everyone else is just like,
Dude, he murdered an innocent person.
You know, there's something I didn't notice until just now. Everyone else who supposedly got taken out in that train car,
Disappears.
they disappear.
Yeah.
They're not.
They do.
They're no cadavers, no bodies, nothing. Else on the
Oh,
train.
so what you didn't see, he threw out the he threw out the other bodies.
Before he picked up his love interest
Yes.
and hugged her, he's like, let me just get rid of
Oh
these.
God, that solves everything.
Yeah,
Like,
gotta
now,
get
I
rid of
hate
the
all
evidence.
of them. I hate all of them.
Get rid of the evidence.
I'm an equal opportunity hater.
Yes.
Oh man, that's perfect. So and then they get taken in for questioning by the cops.
Yeah. So when love interest is being female protagonist is being questioned at the police station, did you at any point Zero when she does like the stereotypical Japanese thing of like like she nods and she does like this sound? All I could think about in that moment was the post credits of Promare where the Japanese dudes were sitting down and
All
having
right, when you guys are
conversation.
done, I'll be back from the store. What are you guys talking about?
Did you see the post thing?
Oh, yes.
The
yes.
interview.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they're like, so this. And all I could think about was just like, oh, fucking stereotypical, like Japanese. Just
I'm gonna go check out my stocks.
Yes.
stocks.
Thank you for that, Mark.
Stocks in this podcast.
Yeah. All right. Moving on from that. So they get taken in for questioning. I can't contribute to that, so I don't even know what I'm talking
All right, just delete it.
about. They get taken in for questioning. They're both. Well, he's handcuffed to the table, and Mika's just there because, oh, that's fine. We know that you're harmless.
You're innocent.
Yeah, you're harmless. You're like, you can't hurt a fly because the fly will probably beat you up too. So they're told they tell the police everything. It's like, no, there's just we're not crazy. We're just chasing after a mystical box. Meanwhile, a ninja's chasing after us. And
You know
they're
what?
like, yeah,
He
sure.
didn't say that.
What?
He didn't actually tell him the story.
No, he did.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah.
He did.
He's very elaborate about it. He's like, what, don't you believe us? We have a lot of credibility behind us.
I feel like he never said ninjas.
No, because they cut before he even starts the story.
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
but he tells him everything.
He tells him everything off camera, which I thought was very strange, considering how much he likes to share.
Just in case plot holes, you know.
Yeah.
So did I tell about you? My mom. She left me when I was 5. Yeah. So now the station gets attacked by Ihara, who is still in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, and so he's attacking them in the dark, and he kills a bunch of the police officers, and then he kidnaps Mika. And Scott Adkins is so
Strong.
driven by adrenaline,
Sure.
that he just breaks instead of breaking the chains from the handcuffs, he breaks the table that's like
Bolted down.
to
Folded
the
out
ground.
into concrete.
Yeah.
I was like, because that's easier. That's way easier. You know, I couldn't help but feel like he was gonna break his hand off, and I thought that was the direction that they were gonna go. It was like, oh, he has a handicap, but he's still gonna overcome the obstacle by being the underdog. No, he's just that strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So he breaks the fucking
Table.
3-ton table off the table, off the floor, off the table. He takes it off the floor, and then he goes after them. They have a little fight on the rooftop, and we get more signature Scott Adkins-isms. We get the side flip as Ihara is swiping at him with the sword. He does a wall flip. And you can see it's all Scott Adkins actually doing it. No wire work involved. It's like this is the only instance where everything is kind of perfect.
I mean, it's
no
short.
zooms.
Oh, okay. I see.
No zooms. No speed ramping. The only problem, I would say, is when they do the reverse footage part.
Oh, that's fine. It's fine. So basically what happens is the guy, the ninja, Ihara, he throws a katana at Scott Adkins and it goes into the wall, like right in front of his face.
Right.
But in order to really do that without CGI, they had to do reverse footage.
You know, well, all that it really is just, okay, Scott, stand there, look at the sword, and then when I pull the sword out, walk backwards. Instead, Scott Adkins does this thing where he's like, I need to stand next to the sword and like look like I'm like leaning against the water silo, and then move away from it in a way that looks like it's reversed. It's very unconvincing. I feel like they could have done more takes of that.
Yeah. I was going to say, making 3D 3D. Making reverse footage look normal is not an easy task because you know something's wrong. But they should have
They should have done more takes.
They should have did more takes or maybe did something a little different with it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the most distracting part for me.
Are you talking
the
about
most? No. The most distracting part was that beautiful New York City skyline we got to see.
You mean the one that's like pure orange?
That is so lit up that you can't see anything else.
Is this New York or Vegas?
It's Vegas.
It's Bulgaria.
It's Bulgaria. Yeah,
That's what it is.
Why. That's why. Okay, so just kidding. That isn't the most distracting thing. The most distracting thing is the ninja's bat suit.
Mark, elaborate.
It's just a fucking Ninja Gaiden suit or like a Splinter Cell suit. It's such a weird fucking thing. I mean, it's just so high tech. They're in a fucking like he's primitive Japanese like ninja dojo.
Well, this guy's like a modern ninja.
Yeah, but it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, kind of like the ones that use.
Yeah, night vision. I'm not going to use my ninja skills. I'm going to use technology. I don't know.
That's how you survived in today's standards. Yeah, he grabs Ihara grabs Mika, who is unconscious, and
because he chokes her out.
Yeah,
earlier in the film.
Yeah, and he jumps off the rooftop, and he does this. He just like expands his wingspan and like mid jump.
Yes,
and he kind of floats down like Batman,
flying squirrel,
but more like a flying squirrel. Yeah, exactly. It looks so silly. It doesn't work because. Like with the weight that he's carrying,
right,
and the angle. The biggest problem is the angle that he's going down.
He would have died.
He should have been more horizontal. He was like pretty much like
vertical,
80 degrees.
Yeah.
Well, you don't fall like
he
that.
has 120 pounds strapped to his chest.
He should be leaning forward.
Yeah, there should be some weight distribution.
He's a cyborg.
Yeah,
guys. It's all right.
But when he lands like perfectly.
Yeah,
there's no like,
and he literally walks out of it.
Yeah, like gracefully too. Mm-hmm. And then Scott Adkins tries to do the Rumble in the Bronx thing. He jumps across the rooftop and lands on the opposing side's
sign. It's like a giant billboard.
Yeah.
It's a little weird because you can clearly see that the stunt performer, I don't know if it was him, was able to jump from the one side of the building to the other.
Mm-hmm.
But they do this thing, and I mentioned this in the past episode, where right before he grabs the sign, it cuts, and then you see Scott Adkins hold it.
Well, it's 5 cuts before you actually get to see him landing on the other side, so maybe he didn't actually do it.
No, probably not. But I'm saying, like, with those kind of cuts, then maybe because I watch too many martial arts movies, that makes me think like, oh, well, there's no way that could have been him because you're hiding it with a cut. Yeah. I would have preferred to seen the stunt performer actually just make it and hold on, and then cut, and then we get the reaction shot from Scott Adkins.
Right. Yeah. Like it doesn't have as much patience as opposed to like the movie doesn't have as much patience as like those movies that you're referring to just now.
Yeah.
Also, that whole setting was a fucking
like
setting.
Yeah.
No, of course.
It was disgusting.
And now that the villains run away, they have this whole cat and mouse thing. Well, first of all, the Scott Adkins goes to the warehouse where the Russian Brotherhood is, and you would probably say that this is where the highlight of the movie is, right?
Oh yeah,
I would say
this is by far the best fight in the movie for me.
I wasn't thinking.
Oh, your favorite part was the bondage scene.
Oh yeah,
for sure,
without a doubt.
Yeah, like so, Ihara ties Mika up
very elaborately.
Very much in a way that I'm like
showing his BDSM side.
It's very reminiscent of Japanese BDM rope play. If you're not familiar with it, you should Google it.
At work,
yeah. It's safe for work, definitely.
We know who the rope bunny is.
Like as soon as the doors open and you see him approaching her as she's like she has a blindfold on and she's completely tied up, like literally from head to toe, and it's like it's impeccable the way that it's like she's tied up, like the ropes are just perfect. It looks like a rape scene, like a porno rape scene. And you're like, oh Jesus, what's gonna happen now?
Yeah, the way she's tied up, it's a nice visual, but it doesn't. I feel like it's not really for this movie.
Nope. Yep.
She's in his lair. We don't know where this layer is.
He gets nice and close all the time. He's very touchy-feely.
So he uses that as leverage to get Scott Adkins to come get him the box, even though he could just get the box right there and then. Oh, different kind of box. So now they're there, and Scott Adkins attacks the warehouse where the Brotherhood is, and he goes. His entrance is glorious. The way that he breaks into a place, he grabs a guy. And while the leader of the Brotherhood is talking, you see a guy just crash down, fall from the heavens and into just a table that just happens to be right there.
Yeah, no, that's a great entrance because
it's comedic timing.
Yeah, and I mentioned this before. I thought the leader was going to monologue to all these henchmen just standing around. And I was like, oh no, he's gonna reveal his master plan. Nope, fight scene. I was like, Thank you.
Actually, okay. Oh man, I totally forgot the way that he. Sorry, we kind of skipped ahead a little bit. Just to get into the facility, he does a couple things. He has to take out the security in the front.
This is what I was talking about when all of a sudden he goes on this fucking murder spree because this is just an innocent security guard. And all of a sudden he fucking he's lighting a cigarette on his break or something outside. And all of a sudden he gets fucking kicked in the neck and his neck just snaps just because Scott Adkins can't walk 30 feet a fucking different direction to try to get into the building. It's so fucking bad.
There's a subtle anti-smoking message there that we missed.
You are missing the part where, as that guy's lighting a cigarette in the foreground, you see Scott Adkins doing a side flip over, over a railing. It's like, you totally don't have to do that. You can just jump over that.
Well, the biggest... The most glaring thing about that kick to the head and that snaps his neck is that there's no movement from the actor. Like, he would have went flying if it was strong enough to snap his neck. He just kind of tilts his head.
Well, in a weird way, that kind of shows the impact of it, and it shows that okay, this guy's dead. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying his body should have flown.
Oh,
that's what I mean. It stays in frame
because it only lasts 3 seconds. That whole shot of him hurtling and then fucking going for the kick and then his neck snapping and then it's over. It's like, wait, that was way too quick. You can drag that out for another 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Well, now that we're in the warehouse, we actually have him fighting everybody. All the jumpsuit wearing Russian Brotherhood men.
Yes, this is our 1-on-20 fight.
I would say this is probably where Scott Adkins got free reign to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Well, I think they mentioned that they tried to model this fight towards his strengths.
To Fist of Fury.
Oh
no! Well, the behind the scenes actually did say that they wanted this scene to be the very Fist of Fury-esque fight scene.
Yeah,
one versus many. I thought you were going to go in that direction. What were we about to say?
Well, no, I was just saying like you mentioned, this is Scott Adkins doing Scott Adkins, and not ninjutsu, which is what I thought this movie was gonna show us. But nope. I mean, it would have been perfect, I guess. It's in the warehouse. You would think, oh, he'd turn off the lights, take out people one by one. Nope, we never get to see his ninja skills.
Never.
Ever. Well, maybe a little bit at the end.
It doesn't count flipping and stuff.
When he throws a pipe at the Brotherhood leader or whatever, and that's the closest thing you'll see in fucking ninjutsu, except for him maybe doing a kata with a bow staff or some shit. Right. That's about it.
Yeah. But no, this is definitely the best fight of the movie. We get a lot of fun gun disarmament in the beginning, very reminiscent of John Wick. Excuse me. But this actually predates that, so kudos to them for coming up with some cool gun disarmament stuff.
In the middle of all the action, because it is 20 versus 1, they could just reassemble the gun. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, I love how there's a bunch of fighting going on, and then. Just conveniently, the main bad guy just pulls out a gun. I'm like, you couldn't do that earlier?
It was only when he was threatened.
It's only when he came up close.
Yes.
Because that's how guns work.
Well, that's how bad guy logic works.
Yeah. Now Scott Adkins is just beating the shit out of everybody. Well, we have some pretty good stunt work here.
This is where he does a lot of his flashier, visually flashier moves.
Yeah.
Lots of spins, Lots of
We got
flips.
we get a cheats 900. We get
Don't know what that is.
it doesn't matter. It's like a round, like a spinning round kick with a spin hook kick at the same time. It's like he does what else he does? He does a flash kick.
I was gonna say he does the Guile flash kick, which we're not sure if there's wire work in there.
You can do a real flash kick, but I
yeah?
don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was actually all him. I have
Okay.
I have a lot of certainty
I've
about that.
never seen a flash kick without wire work before.
I can show you some YouTube videos later.
Yeah, no,
And I'll also
I
see it
know.
in person.
Right, but I'm saying like I'm sure that takes a lot out of you physically.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if he did that, he probably had like 1 or 2 takes, and he's like, "All right, we're done for the day."
So I am subscribed to Scott Adkins on his YouTube channel, and I can tell you he can do all that. Like he can do it from standing.
Right.
So I don't put it past him, and good demonstration of his athleticism. So I'm not gonna ever put him down for that. He's a very athletic dude.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot here that I like, and then it's over.
Yeah. Well, this fight is exactly what it needs to be. It doesn't drag out. Like there's no fat on it.
Yeah.
Like he's just taking out these guys using very visually flashy moves, mainly kicks, I would say. Do you know what martial art he predominantly
I
uses?
think he's. Oh, I don't know. I can't say for sure. I should know this, but
Like I would say this is
he's
not
a tricker, but I don't know. If
I would say like this isn't even karate.
Right. Well, I think he was in Taekwondo. Technically, that explains a lot.
This looks kind of Taekwondo-y,
Yeah,
but not karate at all.
But I might be completely. butchering
Even
this.
though I don't think ninjutsu is similar to karate, but I'm just trying to come up with the closest Japanese martial arts I can think of.
Right. Like cinematically, they just want to go for something flashy. There's like ninjas do flips, right? People don't know the difference.
Yeah. That's what I got, and I was a little disappointed because I was thinking, oh, I've never seen ninja martial arts on screen where it was legitimately
You clearly haven't watched Beverly Hills Ninja.
No, I have.
technically.
I still have not
I'm the
seen
one who hasn't.
ninja martial arts on screen.
We'll watch Three Ninjas next.
Oh God.
So now Mark's like, yes. So now he beats up all the guys, and now we have an agreement between Ihara and Scott Adkins that if I bring you the box with all the shit in it, then you let Mika go. So Scott Adkins breaks into a museum, steals the shit, the box, and he goes to the villain at the very end. He's like, "Here, I have the box. There's obviously no betrayal involved. This is just the box."
In
back.
stereotypical cargo container by the dock somewhere or some shit.
Yeah. And then Mika is exchanged. Mika is set free. And then the villain opens the box. There's nothing inside. Because Scott Adkins does a flip on top of onto a bulldozer or
bulldozer.
Bozozer, yeah. And then he's wearing all ninja garb. That was what was in the box.
The twist is he's wearing everything.
Yeah, exactly. And
We
have exactly. Now we have guy wearing all black versus guy wearing all black. Yay!
It's not hard to follow at all.
In the dark.
In the dark. Oh my God.
Yay!
With terrible lighting.
But before we even get to that, but now we have the brother.
Can I make another Friends reference real quick?
Sure.
Oh yes.
When he comes out and he reveals that he's wearing everything that was in the box, it made me think of when Joey put on all of Chandler's clothes.
Yes.
He's like, "You stole my clothes. I'm gonna wear all your clothes."
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Sorry, Will.
I'm glad we're referencing a show that went off the air like 15 years ago.
Yes.
Well, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I got like a little bit of like Batman Begins vibes from this.
The coloring of the scene.
Right? I'm not
like
the only one, right?
I would only say the cinematography kind of reminded me of Batman Begins in terms of the coloring.
Right.
Nothing else.
I started getting Power Rangers. I started getting fucking.
I got a little My Little Pony.
Yeah.
So now Mika and Scott Adkins are running away from not only the main bad guy, but the Brotherhood as well. And they're just taking out all the Brotherhood people. And none of this really interests me except the car. When we get to the car part, unless you have something.
Yeah, I did wanted to add. So now that Scott Adkins is wearing all the clothes, he has all the weapons as well. And one thing I thought was funny, he drops like tire spikes. You know, the things
that's
those are real weapons, but I think of tire spikes like the you use to blow out the
like
tires.
jacks.
Yeah,
when you play jacks.
Yeah, jacks, but
throw
they're
the
actually
ball,
spiked.
Yeah.
He drops them, and the bad guys literally run over him.
Tap dancing.
Yeah. And
Like, many of them.
it made me think of. Do you ever play Turtles in Time when
Yes.
you're in the sewer level and you go over one of those mines and you start going like, "Ow, my toes, my toes!"
Yeah.
I was really hoping one of the guys would have done that, but
You can just walk over it. Guys, please tell me you guys know that reference. Fucking nah, whatever. So yeah, oh god.
and then we get some. So when he drops the spikes, and then
And he
he
throws
starts
shurikens at
throwing
them.
shurikens, and Mika is very poorly using a bow, not the proper form at all to be shooting a bow and arrow.
Wait, isn't she a specialist?
No, she's a bow staff. She's a bow staff specialist. Even though she hasn't used this, she uses a crutch. That was the only thing that she used that she was even slightly proficient at.
It would have been. I would have preferred if she just used the bow as like as a bow staff, like started hitting people with the bow.
Yeah.
So she's useless. And then there's one moment where, well, the Brotherhood people are going after the main bad guy, Ihara, as well. So Ihara, I don't know why. I
don't
feel
know
like
why.
that detail is just left
Actually, so the detail is, look at me always fucking knowing the
out.
plot.
Look at the plot.
I know, right? I love plot. No, it's because he basically threatened the head of Temple, whatever the fucking organization was or company. He threatened, he's like, if you don't take care of this, you're next. So now he sent the whole Brotherhood after him because he's going to kill the main corporate entity of the company.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. I'm glad you told us.
Closing gaps.
I'm glad you told us. Now I didn't care.
Yeah, cool.
So it's different. Yeah. So now the like Ihara jumps on top of a car that's approaching him. He lands on it and he stabs his sword through the roof, conveniently impaling the driver in the hand where the stick shift is, so he can't change gears.
Mythbuster approved.
See, so with this scene, I got excited because I thought they were going to do something else. Like, I thought what was going to happen is he was going to drive the katana through the roof. He was going to impale the guy's hand, but it was going to be attached to the steering wheel. And I thought he was going to drive by tilting the
so
sword.
Stupid. That probably was the first.
I would have preferred that more because he's just basically riding on top. And
But it was only on the shift. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, the guy can't stop himself, but he just knows conveniently to go towards the main characters.
And he was going that way anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why did you have to do that? And he's like, he has a gun in the other hand, so he's shooting while he's doing it. And and then Scott Adkins tries to attack him on top of the car, but then the villain jumps off, so they both jump off the car, and then the car careens into a parked car, lands on its side, and then explodes.
It's hilarious, but
It's
it's
hilarious the way you just said.
Well, the reason why I think it's funny is because the car is going maybe like 40 to 50 miles an hour.
I would say like 20.
Yeah.
Probably.
In the universe of this movie, it was probably going like 40, let's say. But the thing is, when it careens on its side and explodes, it is stopped.
Yeah.
It is fully stopped. Like, where's the momentum? It should have been, grinding on its side.
Yeah. The car should have been gone or something.
Why did it explode is the real question.
Because
movie
needs to happen.
That was a weird, stupid, hard cut explosion. It wasn't fulfilling.
It would have been great if when we get the shot of inside the car, it was just filled with dynamite. Closing up the plot holes.
I've got C4 in the back trunk.
Don't worry, guys. I got the delivery right here. Oh no, my hand! It's been stabbed.
Wrong mission.
Yeah.
Damn it, CJ! All you had to do was fly the plane. Okay, so now we have our final battle between Ihara and Scott Adkins. and
Ooh, can we back up just a little bit?
oh man, sure.
There's
I love going backwards.
yeah. So there, Mika gets to fight a little more. Unfortunately, gets beat up a lot more. There's this really little moment I found really funny. So she's got the bow and arrows, and the bad guys realize that she's using it to her advantage. And so what happens is she gets grabbed, and somebody takes her bow and arrows fall to the ground, and you see a shot of it, and a guy kicks it away. But then it cuts to a shot of her, and she goes like, "No!"
Yeah, as if like you just killed her whole family.
It is. I didn't notice it the first time, but when I was watching this, I was like, "Wait, what?"
She's so sensitive.
Yeah. This is
Was that ADR as well?
no, it's just such a stupid little moment that they drew attention to such an odd thing. But sure, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we all love her character so much, and she was so important to the movie.
I genuinely do. They
Because-
just did her a disservice.
Well, because she gets a blow dart to the neck, same way that the sensei was gonna. Well, actually did die. So, the villain.
To be fair, actual
doesn't make
cause
any
of death was severed head.
okay, was going to die. Yeah, sure. But the villain, has a mask on, like something covering his face, but he takes a blow dart and doesn't take the mask off. Like if you were trying to blow into that, it would fly like 3 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
If you tried really hard. So
Don't you know in ninjutsu they teach you how to blow hard?
It's magic Japanese cloth. It's fine.
There were mouth holes.
first we had the breath. No,
He
first we had-
occasionally sticks his tongue out.
First we had the bondage thing. Now we have this.
This is a very perverse movie when you really get down to it.
Yeah, that's why Scott Adkins signed up for us.
Yeah.
It's like I thought you said Japanese porno, right?
I thought this was Star Wars.
Yeah, so now we have a fight between Ihara and Scott Adkins. I'm pretty sure. Well, Ihara probably wasn't doing most of his stunts here, because some of it I can't tell. If it was him, there's a lot of wire work involved. So
Yeah.
there's one part where they're running. Scott Adkins is chasing after him, and then Ihara, because he's facing away from the camera, he runs at a lamppost. He jumps on it, and I thought he was going to do a backflip, a wall flip off of the lamppost, but he doesn't. He just jumps over Scott Adkins as he's approaching
He
him.
reverse. He kicks off of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's weird.
He just lands.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then he does what I would call a stationary tornado kick, which a tornado kick is when you spin, let's say, clockwise, and then you throw a kick around you.
Okay.
Okay, so you're basically swiping your leg around your body, but you're spinning. You basically, I don't know how you would be able to do that kind of kick from stationary, but he lands and then he goes directly into it. The only way you can do that is if you're suspended on something. So he's clearly not doing it himself. So that was my biggest gripe with that. Besides the fact that there's that part. We were complaining about this entire time that you can't tell who's who. That is the genuinely worst part about this movie.
Yeah, so
This fight scene.
we mentioned earlier that Scott Adkins dons all the gear from this Yoroibitsu box.
The
and-
Yokohama,
Yes, the Yoko Ono box.
the Mitsubishi.
Yes. And he is now wearing black attire. The ninja Ihara was wearing black attire. So you have two guys wearing black in the dark. Yes, their costumes, there are differences between them, but when you get those wide shots, unless you were very closely paying attention to which side of the screen each actor was, it gets confusing.
Yeah.
And it gets even more confusing when you see two actors cross the screen in a very odd move.
Yeah. Right.
Ihara kind of ties him with some sort of rope.
Yeah.
And he literally he wraps the rope around the pole, and he literally jumps from the left side of the screen to the right, pulling Scott Adkins, who's on the right side of the screen, who now gets pulled to the left. They cross it in midair, and you are just confused as to who is who now.
Yeah.
Plus the bad cuts and all of that. And
Yeah,
it's
of
just
course.
Like, fuck.
The only way that you can tell who's who is who's winning, and who's losing.
Well,
otherwise you can't tell.
Well, I think, and I'm making this up in my mind, but I think what happened is they realized they couldn't tell who was who, so the bad guy rips off Scott Adkins' mask partway through the fight, and you're like, oh, okay, that's him.
They're like, should we just film those scenes again so we can? No. Then there'll be a $11 million budget because that one scene is.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we have our fight between the unmasked characters, and Scott Adkins is nowhere close to his level. So he's like, in every other scene before that, he just gets bested by the villain, and the finishing blow is so anticlimactic, pathetic, like you said, and I don't understand it at all. So the villain swings his sword around in a very Bruce Lee style, like kind of like from Fist of Fury.
If you guys were katana.
Right. Well, no. What I mean is, there's this one part at the very end when Bruce Lee's like moving his hands.
Oh, and they're doing the visual effects, so it's creating like a
blur.
It's a blur, and you can see a previous image of the last placement of his hands.
I see what they're going for in this one shot of him doing that. That he's moving his sword in a very majestic, mystical way, and you see all the aura around him moving.
They're implying some mysticism is going on here.
Yeah,
which I wasn't crazy about because I feel like that wasn't established.
Yeah.
In this movie.
That and also his helicopter magic. It wasn't real ninja.
There was a helicopter there.
3 times.
There was a helicopter. Like, everyone, stop what you're doing. You're under arrest, or I open fire.
They did not
and
stop.
They didn't do anything. They were just there.
And then while he's doing this sachet of swords,
I like that. I like that. Yeah.
They keep on cutting to the helicopter. It's like, why are you showing me the helicopter? And then they show a different helicopter, and it says police on it. I'm just like, why are you showing me the helicopter? And it just keeps going at least 3 times, and then just like finally the ninja disappears, or the villain, and then all of a sudden Scott Adkins is like, "This is the best time to close my eyes,"
right?
Because he disappeared.
When did they establish that he had the ability? When he established that, like, that's how he concentrates?
I have no fucking idea.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that you have to infer with this movie, and him closing his eyes. And then knowing that the villain is now behind him. Yeah, I mean, if you watched other martial arts movies before, yes, they have a very heightened sense of awareness. Sure, but usually in the beginning, we establish that kind of he learned that in like some sort of training sequence.
Actually, we kind of do see this before, but only with the sensei before he dies. But then again, Scott Adkins doesn't know that his sensei closed his eyes before he died.
So they have a connection. Okay,
it's because he's adopted.
But yes, it's extremely anticlimactic because he realizes the villain is now behind him, and he just turns around and impales him with his sword.
Scott Adkins to do something like cool, like he has like the knife up to his neck. And they're trading blows, and then Scott Adkins kicks the knife into his neck, and he kills him. Like something like a trademark flippy athletic move. It's just something very simple.
Yeah,
he stabbed him in like the fucking kidney from the front, and then that's it. And it just reminded me of like Ken Watanabe in The Last Samurai, just like him and his moans.
Oh, does he?
He's dying.
Yeah, he's still alive for another 15 minutes. He's like, okay, all right, I got it.
Oh, beautiful. Let them fight.
Oh wait, no, that's the wrong movie.
Wrong Ken Watanabe movie.
They call him
Gojira.
So it's a shame because the neo-Nazi Illuminati guy got a better death than Ihara. He gets pulled through the catwalk and then face palms into the table.
But he didn't die.
Yeah, but that was a lot cooler than how this guy goes. He just gets stabbed in the gut.
Wait, there's more.
Well, yes.
Well, the villain is now bleeding out. He gets stabbed. You think that he's dead, but we totally glanced over the fact that he took the antidote to the poison and he actually threw it to the floor. And we were saying before, like, oh no, the liquid's all over the ground. Lick it. Lick the antidote. Slurp.
Can't emphasize that.
Yeah.
But he turned OP.
But they were like, we can't have a Japanese girl slurping liquids, like mysterious liquids.
That's a different video.
Yeah. Right.
We established that she got poisoned, right?
We already did. Yeah.
Okay.
If not, we just did.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
so,
good.
So Scott Adkins like, no, I can't let you die. Oh, wait, I remember. And so he has a flashback, and he remembers his sensei. The words from the sensei is like, not only is the sword of the Yamaha,
Yoroibitsu.
the
Mazda.
the sword of Naruto has the power to take away life, but also give back life.
Or
So when you
And-
hear that,
And this is the first time as audience members.
rewatching the movie, they actually did say it, but it's so brief.
Did they
It's
really?
so
They did.
it's like you glance over it, like you completely forget it. It's
No, it's
happened
it's the first time.
It's
For you.
all the way in the beginning,
it's the first
like
2
before the
minutes.
title screen.
Probably.
No, it's
The-
like the old
before the
Japanese
Comic Sans
art.
appears on screen?
Yes. Font 20, size 24 or some shit or whatever it is.
Now he's like, oh man, I have to honor and remember what my sensei said. I can bring her back to life with the sword. I'm gonna stab her. I seriously thought he was gonna do that. I was like, what could that possibly mean? But actually, the hilt has a secret compartment for weed. So he takes the weed out and gives it to her.
It's not clever. They
It's
try to be
just
clever.
oil for the vape pen.
It's DVD oil. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Same color too.
And he makes her kiss it, but she won't ingest the whole thing.
Kiss
So-
it?
No, no. He makes her try to drink it, but she won't ingest the whole thing. So
Because she's dead already.
Yeah,
It's
so
been
she-
over a minute.
So he starts making out with her to try to like let me force it down your throat. So they do a deep French, and then she comes back to life. And then Scott Adkins was carrying her away. And then you see the villain get up and he's like, wait, I'm still in the movie.
It's just the most awkward fucking moment.
Yeah.
And then and I love how Zero responded to this. He's like, oh, come on, don't give him an honorable death.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about this.
Guys, it's Bushido. Come on.
They're ninjas. They shouldn't give a shit about
That's
that.
actually true. It's just
Yeah.
an samurai.
But yeah, so he does him the favor of decapitating him so he doesn't bleed out, I guess.
Shouldn't the cops just arrest him there and then?
Yes.
It's like, you just murdered a guy in front of us.
Dude, that cop let him get away. Fucking terrible.
But he
New
kills him.
York.
He just cuts off the villain's head. And then we have our final scene where the cop is like, it's a good thing you killed the bad guys. You're off scot-free. Go home.
Because your name is Scott Adkins.
I'm going to go on an Atkins diet now.
Oh my
All the Scott Atkins. It doesn't make any sense because the cop hands them back their passports,
Yes.
and they're both
They're both
different
American
colors.
passports.
No, one's
Japanese.
red. I think is the Japanese passport red.
an American, yeah.
One's American.
Yeah,
Why does he have an American passport?
Because he never became a Japanese citizen because it's almost impossible to be a Japanese citizen if you're a foreigner.
Oh God, he tried to immigrate over there.
Oh, you know, it'd be funny if they opened his when they showed the passport, it was still him as a child because he never got it renewed.
Yes. I still don't buy that entirely because like he was left in Japan. And
Yeah, he would have had to
he
have
would have
been
probably just like
turned into a citizen.
like a grandfathered in.
So
Yeah.
he said he was 12 when his when
Wasn't he 5?
No,
no.
I think they said it was pretty young.
No, it was 12 if I remember correctly. And then
Listen, Mark works for the customs.
so if he had 10, so every 10 years I think you have to renew your photo at that age. So he's 22 in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, you can get really good at ninjutsu in 10 years.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. And then the final scene happens where they're back at the dojo. That's it.
That's it?
There's nothing else.
That's it.
They just show up back at the dojo like, we're home.
And they just like place some flowers at Sensei's grave, and that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That's the movie.
that's Ninja.
And then the credits roll. And then we're like, oh my God, that was so stupid.
First decent song comes on.
Da, na, 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 na. Oh, wait, that's it, man.
Ha! Homeless guy. Ruslan Company.
Uh, hmm. I've seen a lot of Scott Adkins movies, but I haven't seen the second
I
one.
have
so I'm
not.
very curious. You
I
have not seen it.
This is the first. No, sorry. This is the second Scott Adkins movie I have seen where he is the star.
Protagonist, okay.
Yeah, where he's the star.
I've seen. Well, yeah, that's true. I've seen him a lot in like supporting roles, villain roles, especially. He plays the villain a lot in his movies. Or some movies. Triple Threat being one. Undisputed, for example. Like he's.
Oh,
he's
right.
in-
Okay, I've seen Undisputed 3 too. Okay.
Right. Actually, okay. Whatever. Semantics aside, like I've seen a lot of Scott Adkins movies, and this one it's okay. It's
Well,
okay.
this is
I like-
it's pretty not pretty early, but it's one of his earlier movies. This is 2009, right?
Yes,
Yes,
Medallion was one of his earliest roles. I think it was for earliest on-screen roles.
Yes.
and that was 4 years before this. So I
Well, there
cut
you
him
go.
slack.
Yeah.
But it's
Anything negative I have to say about this movie doesn't really involve him.
yeah. I was just
Yeah,
gonna
not
say
at
the same
all.
exact thing.
The story is just kind of lacking,
Mhm.
and I maybe I don't want to be too hard on it because it is direct to video. You know, like they're not gonna have like this 90-page flesh out script of trying to go into these details of these characters. I mean they tried,
Mhm.
but it just came across as funny.
Well, it's just cheesy. The whole movie
Yeah.
is just straight up
It's
cheesy.
just cheesy. So in terms of action though, like what did you think?
Want to go around the table? Mark, tell me what you really think. All right.
Two favorite scenes. Ending.
Go sit in the corner.
Yeah. Ending fight where he dons the costume finally. And I say costume because that's all it fucking is. It's not gear. It's not.
It's not Naruto. It doesn't count. It's not Boruto.
When he it puts on the Black Ranger suit, he gains powers, and that was pretty good.
That's true.
Pretty-
He just
pretty-
got good because it's all about the equipment.
I wouldn't say so. I mean,
No.
based on the last fight, he was pretty fucking good. He takes out a
But
warehouse.
only the
Why?
last, yeah,
Because of the
only the
equipment.
last fight.
No, he didn't have. No. I'm sorry. The warehouse fight. He was beating up those guys without that
Well,
costume.
what I mean is like his power level versus the bad guy.
Yes, not in the sense of the henchmen of the Brotherhood or anybody else.
Because they're just lackeys. They don't know anything.
Yeah.
They're like beating up Goombas. It's like just stomp on their heads. They're done.
So that and the train car scene, those are probably my two favorites, and I would probably disregard everything else action wise. There were a couple of cool like moves, but that only lasted maybe no more than 5 seconds throughout the movie.
Mhm.
But it's really overall, I would just go with the train car scene, and I'd go with the ending where he's fighting the henchman along with the villain at the end. Those were the only two good moments action wise.
Okay.
Yeah,
So would you recommend a movie?
I would recommend action scenes, not movies, and also bondage scenes.
Mhm. I mean, if you recommend the bondage scene, you're gonna be disappointed that it doesn't go anywhere.
It doesn't go anywhere,
Take a
but if
peek.
you like a pretty visual,
Okay. It has a. Oh man, I didn't mention this before, but when the villain was approaching her, as the doors open, the character for Big was behind him. Now I understand what that means. I didn't know what that was supposed to represent, but I get it now.
Mm,
You guys know.
no, not at all.
I understand what you mean.
Of course you do. We're the same person.
Yes, clearly.
I'm just in the same boat with you, Mark.
Yeah.
This movie's cheesy.
That's
I-
a first.
Yeah. just take advantage of this for now because it's the last time. So this movie is cheesy, so I'm not gonna fault it for that when it comes to my complaints. And I mean, I have no idea what the budget has to do with anything, but like if that's true, then maybe I should be more critical. But if it is $10 million, I don't know where they squandered. Probably towards set design, but it seems kind of lower budget compared to like some of his later movies. It could be the fact that it's one of his earlier movies, but I mean, it is straight to DVD, like you said before. So like it's like you kind of have to set the bar a little lower, but you get a lot of action for what you want in this movie. The plot's really thin. It's really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what they're trying to go for. It's Isaac Florentine, the director, wanted this to be a love letter to ninja movies because he's a big ninja guy. I'm sure if you want to watch a ninja movie, just watch the sequel and you could just skip this, right? Right, Zero?
Well, so just as a clarification, I don't
You've only.
I don't think there's any ninja martial arts in this movie, and I don't think there's any real use of the ninja martial art in the second movie. I think it's like a combination of what Scott Adkins is good at, which is it. I don't know. I think he does I think he knows some forms of kung fu, probably some kickboxing. It's probably like a big mashup of stuff, but he has a lot of visual flair, and he works with that to his advantage.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say what I'm curious is I want to see a movie that actually depicts real ninja, like the practitioner of it.
Surf ninjas. What the fuck are you talking about? We were just talking about that.
Sure.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Come on. Pizza.
You're
Are you
not a
saying that's
ninja
not
until you put
real
on an
food?
80-pound suit
I guess so.
and have limited mobility.
Are you saying the Japanese never invented pizza?
So, completely agree with what Mark said. I don't think I'd recommend the movie, which is unfortunate. I'd say support it if you're curious. Watch it and watch the whole movie to support Scott Adkins and his filmography.
Support the actors, not
yeah.
the movie itself.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that's kind of hard.
yeah. But I think it was good to watch once, and I've only watched it more than once because we had to for this episode. But if I weren't for that fact, I probably wouldn't watch it again. The action scenes I would totally watch again on YouTube. I think they have some value. The zooms, I guess they were just trying to get in with the fad of 300 and try to be all stylistic. But I can't help but feel like they're trying to like patch holes in the editing and the camera work.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like they're masking things rather than try to go for style. But yeah, if you want a lot of action and you want to see one woman get her ass kicked constantly, then go check out the fight scenes. But in terms of Scott Adkins' catalog, I think there's better now. And I am very curious to see the second one because you praised it and you said that it's much better than this one.
It definitely is. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I haven't seen it in a while though. So
it's
now that we've been, very analytic with our martial arts movies, I hope I don't go back and think, oh no, this is horrible.
Okay, well, what's your opinion?
Yeah,
on this
so
one?
I enjoyed it while I was watching because we watched it together and we were kind of talking through it, we were kind of goofing on it, so I had a good time in that aspect. So I guess I could say maybe if you're drinking with a bunch of friends, it's like one of those movies you can turn on and you can have fun with people while watching it because you're drinking, you're just you're goofing off. I think if maybe I watched this by myself, I might have been just kind of bored.
Oh, like me?
Yeah. I might have been bored with it, so I don't think I could recommend it either. Minus what I said before, maybe just watch it with a bunch of friends. I did like two of the fights, which is the warehouse fight where he takes out like the 20 dudes. I thought that was a great display of the Scott Adkins style. Very acrobatic stuff, lots of fun flips and kicks. That's a definite YouTube recommendation. The subway fight it's just okay. But it's got the moment with Mika and the crutch, which is unintentionally funny. So if you want to see that, you can check that out. So those would be my recommendations for the fights.
Okay, so we're actually all on the same boat here.
Yeah, pretty similarly.
Yeah.
Like I hate not recommending stuff. I try to put it in context because when we watched it, I actually I kind of had fun because we were drinking. And
Everything's better when you're drinking.
Yeah, I know.
It was fun. I think this movie was a lot of fun. Yeah. It's not so bad. It's good territory. But you are laughing at the movie at certain points.
I was laughing, but the thing is, the movie's not trying to be funny. So I don't want to. I don't want to say like the movie's funny when I know they're not trying to be funny.
Right, you're just laughing at the mishaps of direction or the mishaps of like
the
cutscenes.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Or just silliness.
Yeah.
Plain old silliness.
Yeah. I can't wait to watch the sequel, Ninja 3: The Domination. I really can't.
Are we gonna watch Ninja 3?
I would love to. Like, I think I'm gonna put that on the list.
Why? What's so special about Ninja 3?
Just doesn't matter. It's a so bad it's good movie.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We're like
Starring David Carradine.
like, damn it, Scott Adkins, you got really old.
Is
Isn't there a movie called Ninja Armageddon? I swear to God, there is.
no, that's Kickboxer Armageddon.
Same thing.
Is Kickboxer Armageddon a giant meteor is crashing towards Earth? So they send a bunch
Bruce Willis is
so
in
they
it.
so they send a bunch of kickboxers into outer space,
It's easier to teach a person how to kickbox than teach an astronaut how to.
drill into the center of a meteorite.
I don't know. How
Is
that
it?
goes.